because you were home.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies based on real unsolved mysteries.
No reporters view the body. Photo men, finish taking your pictures now. Coroner's men, put a sheet on the body as soon as they're done.
For this list, we'll be looking at various movies that are based on an unsolved true crime case or supernatural mystery. What do you think about the real stories and how the movies present them? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. The Strangers. Strangers writer-director Brian Bertino was directly influenced by the Manson killings and the accompanying true crime book Helter Skelter. However, many critics and academics also note strong similarities with a quadruple homicide that occurred in 1981.
Can I have one? Are you a sinner?
In April of that year, Glenna Sharp, two of her children, and a family friend were killed in Keddie, California.
It happened 40 years ago this month. I sat down with the two main detectives on this case who say they are close to solving this once and for all.
The historic event bears many similarities with The Strangers, including the isolated setting, the breaking into of a private residence, and the vicious nature of the killings.
You don't have to do it. You can stop now, you... Please!
The main suspects in the case are Martin Smart and his friend John Bobidet, but they both died without being charged thanks to a tragically bungled investigation. Number 9. The Mothman Prophecies. The Mothman is one of the most enduring legends in modern American folklore. Between November 1966 and December 1967, the West Virginian city of Point Pleasant was inundated with sightings of the Mothman. Famously described as a large man-bird hybrid, the Mothman became a national sensation when ufologist John Keel published his investigative book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Before Mothman things took off around here, it was pretty much dead. Like, even when I was growing up, Main Street was empty.
He argued that the Mothman was a supernatural creature with connections to the Silver Bridge, which collapsed in December of 1967, killing 46 people. Keel's famous book was turned into a movie in 2002, starring Richard Gere as a journalist who becomes entangled in the mystery. The enjoyment of this one hinges entirely on how much stock you put into the Mothman legend.
And what if nothing happens? What if there's no great tragedy, John? What'll you do then?
Number 8. Mesmerized.
And what they have to say is the following. We do not know how Oliver Thompson died.
Starring Jodie Foster and John Lithgow, Mesmerized is loosely based on the mystery of the Pimlico poisoning. Named after the London district in which it occurred, this event concerns the bizarre death of Edwin Bartlett. Bartlett had been found dead with chloroform in his stomach. However, no one could figure out how it got there, as his throat and larynx were free of burns.
Experienced physicians have informed us that medicine cannot explain how a poisonous substance could have found itself in the stomach of Mr. Oliver Thompson.
Bartlett's wife Adelaide was arrested and charged with the death. However, a significant lack of evidence resulted in her acquittal. No one knew how the chloroform got into Edwin's stomach, with some arguing that Edwin gulped it down quickly to end his own life.
We do not know how Oliver Thompson died. And if, gentlemen, we do not know this, how can we possibly give the blame for his death to a frail woman?
Adelaide Bartlett later disappeared from public record, taking any potential answers with her. Number 7. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. The people of Texarkana were not enjoying ice cream and sunsets during the summer of 1946. Instead, they were locking themselves inside their homes and watching the police patrol their neighborhoods. It was the town that dreaded sundown, and that's because the Phantom Killer was on the loose.
Past 2 weeks, this place has been a madhouse.
You don't suppose you could get some of your units to check some of those lovers' parking hangouts, do you?
The evasive culprit had killed 5 and attacked 8 throughout the preceding spring, with all of the crimes occurring on weekend nights. The killer was never caught or identified, although many experts believe it was career criminal Yule Sweeney.
Yule Sweeney, car thief, habitual criminal, longtime con. In the end, a lot of the evidence does seem to point to him, and thus, mystery solved. Well, maybe not.
The story greatly inspired the cult slasher, which was filmed in the real area and employed the locals as extras. To mirror reality, the killer's face is never seen.
And if you should ask people here on the streets what they believe happened to the Phantom Killer, most would say that he is still living here and is walking free.
Number 6. Willow Creek. Like the Mothman prophecies, Willow Creek wants you to believe in a mythological creature.
I'm Jim Kessel. I'm here at the Trinity National Forest along Route 96, also known as the Bigfoot Byway.
Perhaps the most legendary object of modern American folklore, Bigfoot has generated endless discussion throughout the years.
How far away was she when you first saw her?
Just across the creek. About like from here across the creek.
The cryptid's popularity skyrocketed in the late 60s with the Patterson-Gimlin film, which purports to show Bigfoot sauntering around the woods of Northern California. The short film serves as a microcosm of the Bigfoot debate, with some screaming hoax while others insist on its authenticity. The Patterson-Gimlin film is directly referenced in the found footage film Willow Creek, which sees a couple traveling into the forest to film their own Bigfoot video.
I'm here with my girlfriend, Kelly Monteleone, where we plan on retracing the famed 1967 Patterson-Gimlin footage and our search for Bigfoot.
It's an undertaking that many have done, hoping to catch a glimpse of America's greatest legend. Number 5. The Entity. A cult favorite, The Entity is about a single mother named Carla Moran who is sexually assaulted and terrorized by a poltergeist.
Mom, there's nobody here.
Call the police! Call the police!
Mom, there's no one in the house. The front door's locked.
Moran is directly based on Doris Byther, a woman who reportedly experienced paranormal events in the mid-70s. Byther contacted parapsychologist Barry Taff and relayed that she had been assaulted and stalked by a malicious entity.
But when my son came in, there was nobody there.
Right. And what did he think? Your son?
Thought I was dreaming.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think happened?
Taff didn't believe the assault claims, but nevertheless agreed to investigate Byther's house. He and assistant Carrie Gaynor reportedly experienced significant poltergeist activity, and Taff labeled it an official haunting.
I mean, I'd rather be dead than living the way I've been living. Do you understand that?
Yes, I can understand that. Yes.
Others are more skeptical, arguing that Taff was a poor investigator who misinterpreted harmless events as paranormal evidence. Number 4. The Black Dahlia. Directed by Brian De Palma and starring an A-list cast, The Black Dahlia is based on James Ellroy's semi-fictional novel of the same name. The story is based on the famous case of the Black Dahlia.
Investigation of upper half abdominal cavity reveals no free-flowing blood. Intestines, stomach, spleen, liver, all removed.
Real name Elizabeth Short, the Dahlia was infamously killed in 1947, and her death remains one of the most tantalizing unsolved mysteries in modern history. Ellroy's novel blends fiction with fact, basing much of the story in reality while making up various fictitious elements. One of Ellroy's inventions is a character named Ramona, who is eventually revealed to be the killer.
She looks so like my Maddie. It was the cruelest joke.
De Palma carried this over into his film, with Fiona Shaw playing the murderer. In real life, no one has the faintest idea as to who killed Elizabeth Short.
The basic rule of homicide apply. Nothing stays buried forever. Corpses, ghosts, nothing stays buried forever.
Number 3. From Hell. The very name of Jack the Ripper is synonymous with unsolved crimes. Back in 1888, an unknown person terrorized the seedy London district of Whitechapel, killing at least 5 sex workers.
With all due respect, sir, I believe this was done by someone with at least a working knowledge of dissection. Either an educated man, such as a doctor,
An educated man? That's preposterous. No well-bred man would do this.
This instantly became the biggest true crime story of its age, thanks to the ferocious nature of the killings and the media sensation that it inspired.
We are in the most extreme and utter region of the human mind. A radiant abyss where men meet themselves.
It has become legend by remaining unsolved. The movie takes its name from the famous From Hell letter, which was a piece of correspondence allegedly written by the killer. Included with the letter was half a human kidney.
From Hell. Well, at least they got the address right.
The case has inspired numerous films, including this horror thriller starring Johnny Depp as Detective Frederick Aberline. Number 2. The Irishman. One of the biggest questions that has plagued America since the mid-70s is, what the heck happened to Jimmy Hoffa?
Every decade, new reports surface and new searches are conducted. All dead ends.
Hoffa was a prominent labor union leader who got involved with organized crime and disappeared in the summer of 1975. His body has never been found. In 2004, an investigator named Charles Brandt published the nonfiction book I Heard You Paint Houses, which is about labor union official Frank Sheeran.
You ever show up late?
No.
Do you have any moving violations?
No.
Do you drink on the job?
No.
You ever hit anybody?
On a job?
Yeah.
No.
Sheeran claims to have killed Hoffa on orders of the Buffalino crime family, and this event is played as gospel in Martin Scorsese's film adaptation. It's important to note that nothing has been confirmed, and many people doubt the authenticity of Sheeran's claim.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
To this day, Hoffa's disappearance remains a mystery.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Zodiac. This is a different kind of true crime film. Rather than focusing on the killings, the movie devotes 2.5 hours to the investigative process.
He stops, puts it in park, boom.
I shoot him on the right side. He slumps right.
Maybe you've got your hand on his collar when you shoot.
This makes it all the more frustrating because, as we know, the Zodiac killer was never caught. One of America's most notorious serial killers, the Zodiac took at least 5 lives in California and taunted both police and media with boastful letters.
We've got some good things working for us, but it takes time, and to be able to reach out and pluck this guy out of the air isn't done.
They suddenly ceased communication with the media in 1974, following one last letter, and the trail went freezing cold. A team calling themselves the Case Breakers claimed to have solved the case in October of 2021, but experts quickly cast doubt on their claim. The case was not in fact broken and officially remains open.
I can't prove this. Just because you can't prove it doesn't mean it's not true. Easy, Dirty Harry.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.